What's good? You're locked onto the Urban Gypsies show with your girl SKARLETT. If you remember, a little while back I mentioned the hard-hitting play Boy X, which portrays a story of a boy losing his life to the roads. Well, today I'm joined with one of the stars in that production, JADE DRAGON, to find out more about the play and what else he's got going on. How you doing, Jade? You cool?
I'm good, SKARLETT. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks for asking. Well, for our listeners who may not know, could you give a little introduction about yourself and what you do?
Well, in a nutshell, really and truthfully, I'm a South London artist. I've got many different guises, if you want, loads of different ways I put it across. I'm a rapper, I'm an actor, and I own my own fashion label as well.
Right, okay, well that's a lot of achievements there. You co-produce with the Arc Theatre, right? So could you just tell us a bit more about what the Arc Theatre actually does?
Arc Theatre, I mean, they, in a nutshell, they call it Arc Theatre for Change because they really try and tackle social issues that we've got in society at the grassroots level. That's what I really like about them. They're not trying to do the fake thing like charity, you know, like how you get fake people like in this world that kind of like do it to look good. I'm not saying anything about the politicians, but
the charities that get a penny from every £5.
No, definitely. But Arc Theatre really kind of like actually do something about it, which is what I like about them. I got kind of like involved with them through my agent, and like the relationship built from there really. And then now we've got Boy X.
So did you help produce Boy X, right? Is that...
They wrote it and they like helped with the marketing as well, but the themes of it and the issues, and we kind of like had several days of workshopping myself, and I got other guys involved like Leave a Cell, who's also in it, TJ Jambere, Troy Glasgow helped as well. We've had Michael Kofi and Darren Raymond as well get on board as well, like I said, with Arc Theatre, and we kind of all put it all together. And we took issues from our lives that we've seen and put it into the play really.
So for people out there who haven't seen Boy X and don't know what we're talking about, I mean, what is Boy X about? I
play the character of Brandon, whose younger brother dies because someone who gets stabbed basically. And we kind of see from the moment of his funeral onwards, so you get to see the after effects of what happens, and we kind of go back and see what led up to that point, but we never actually really see him get stabbed because, like I said, we're not here to glamorize or glorify anything. We're just trying to tell it how it is, show how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really emotional play the way you did that. I mean, you're going around schools, aren't you? There's quite a few schools that you've gone to, and do you think the kids are actually taking note of all this? Do they seem to ask questions about it? Or?
Oh yeah, the kids love it because, I mean, afterwards, after we do a show, we always do like a workshop for the kids. So we get a chance to, I shouldn't call them kids, it's young people. Yeah, but we chat to them and they ask us questions. I mean, I even had a guy come up to me afterwards one time and asked me how he can get into glass blowing. You know, like how they make glass.
Oh right, yeah.
Because he wanted to do that, and I mean that's the kind of like strength of Boy X, because you basically get 4 guys, young guys, going into schools. We don't talk like the teachers or act like their parents. We're maybe, I don't know, role models to them because we're showing them that you can do this, and we've got cars and jewelry and trainers and all this stuff, but we haven't got it through illegal means. We've got it through putting into something that we love. So we trying to like show that to them, and like now we've done over like 140 shows to over like 16,000 people now. So, and Arc Theatre did put it together in the beginning off nothing, and it's gone from strength to strength. So it's really good. Yeah,
it's a really good message to put across. I mean, do you think they're going to put it into a film at all, or you know, because that would obviously reach a lot more people as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's been whispers about it because it's so powerful, and like I said, everyone that's kind of like seen it has got it and understood it, and unfortunately every time someone else gets stabbed it becomes more relevant. But yeah, maybe fingers crossed.
Okay, because obviously, I mean, it would be a good thing for parents to see this kind of thing as well. And like, I mean, the one that I obviously went to watch was outstanding performance. You actors really, you know, you really show the emotions really well. And there was like a debate afterwards with the MPs and the police. I think it was head of.
It was like a borough commander. It was like a borough commander. I mean, we get borough commanders coming down because people like the Damilola Taylor Trust Fund and Stephen Lawrence Trust Fund have supported it as well as British Transport Police and Metropolitan Police, because it's what's going on right now. Do you know what I mean? And we're not just in front of kids, we're in front of police, we're in front of not just like theatres, traditional theatres. We do challenge the thought. I mean, we've even, like last year we performed in Waterloo Station, in the middle of the station, just to kind of like make people say, look at this.
Stop and actually listen. Yeah, because obviously, the debate was about knife crime and, you know, how to reduce it and what does everyone think could be done. But what do you personally think should be done?
I think, do you know what, I've said it as well, when it comes to these things, if you take away my knife, or you take away my gun, you got to replace it with something. Because that gave me power, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, it gave me power. So if you take that power away from you, you got to replace it with something. I haven't had the best life. Not saying I didn't come from a great place or had a great upbringing or great parents, but I lived in a city. I'm not making excuses, but I did kind of like fall prey to influences out there until I found my own mind. And I replaced my quote unquote knife with what I do now. And I feel as powerful, as strong as I did before. It's just I'm doing positive things now. And what I say to these lot is, you gotta, but it's a shared thing, because the police have to kind of like work out how to deal with their public a bit more, talk to us a bit more, instead of just locking us up and being like aggressive. Yeah,
because they can be quite abrupt when they stop you, or do you know what I mean, the way they talk to people.
They can, and it can be antagonistic. It can be, because there's not too much separating a young man on the roads and a young man in a police uniform. They've both got this aggression thing and this bravado thing.
Well, they're both gangs, really.
Yeah, they're both gangs. And I mean, I know they have to kind of deal with like the evils of this world, but we're not all evil. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I said it the other day, when you walk into McDonald's, they greet you with a hello and a smile, because they have to be personable. And I just think they have to learn to be more personable. And at the same time, we've got to kind of understand they're not going nowhere. They're police. I prefer them to be around, to be honest, because we've got some people out here that I'd want to see locked up. You know what I mean? But we have to learn how to deal with them, plus aim at different things. Not just being the man that runs your area or whatever, or the bad girl, but like, stop having these little local dreams, I call them, because there's a big wide world out there. Do you know what I mean? So you're repping a little area that doesn't care about you, that won't help you kind of in any way, when in fact you could probably travel halfway around the world and see a different life that you never even imagined before. So.
But do you think the government are giving these young people, for example, like a chance to even see that different type of life?
I think the government is, I mean, we do have the elections coming up real soon, and that's kind of like a good point, because the government is a bit confused. I don't think they know what the young people are talking about. That's why Boy X kind of does get bookings by government people or police and stuff like that, because we talk their language. We understand what it means to be who you are as a young working class Londoner, or a young working class any person. But at the same time, Boy X and the cast and like the team behind it, we know that this working class world can get pushed on to do better things as well. I think it's not one issue, it's not one thing. It's kind of like a conglomerate, they call it, of different issues that we've got to kind of address, man.
Because obviously you lot are really good role models when they see you doing all this kind of creative stuff. But I know, like, for example, when I was at school, creative things, but just, you know, no one really cared, to be honest, you know, what you do. So, you know, do you think that the government should maybe put in place like certain things for all these creative people with so much enthusiasm and so much energy to actually be taken notice in these schools, rather than not acknowledging them just because they're not very academic or, you know, that kind of way inclined?